Hi there, welcome back to the Community of Readers video blog. We're following the Old Testament readings for the Monkey Bar Challenge. This is our first look at the whole of the book of Leviticus. This is called A Life Worth Saving. Let's be honest, Leviticus is probably the most boring of all of the biblical books. It's basically just full of laws, most of which refer to ritual, ceremonial stipulations. And it's also one of the most foreign books, certainly for us as 21st century readers in any case. It's regular animal sacrifice with blood sprinkled here and there, and it's God who seems inaccessible without them. It's just very strange to our civilized modern world. And so it should be. But without an understanding of Leviticus, we can't understand the mindset of ancient Israel or the context into which Jesus was born. Leviticus represents in legal format what Exodus told us in story, which is the God that liberated the people of Israel from Egypt was nothing like them. The God who appears as cloud or fire on mountain or sea is different, other. This is the true meaning of the word holy. It's a sacred, radical alternative. And so there are rules to acknowledge that separation. So this is why there's a priesthood crucial to the cultic law. Cultic, by the way, means to do with the sacrificial system. So crucial to the cultic law is the belief that average Joe can't just go and approach God. There needs to be some kind of mediation, a go-between, to bridge the divine-human chasm. The big question, I think, is why? It's hard for us, from a post-Jesus perspective, to really see this priesthood in place for God's benefit. Let's think of it like this. For a disparate group of peoples wandering around the Sinai Peninsula, the affections of the local pagan cults available at every turn, with their clearly ritualized beliefs, their visible deities and their erotic rites, must have seemed like an appealing alternative to the dim drudgery of desert life, following a faceless God into a land that he promised that he would give them, but which so far didn't appear to be forthcoming. There's something about the laws and the rituals which actually make Israel into a fledgling nation. They start to form the basis of a national constitution. And here is outlined a way of living in the world that wasn't Egyptian or Canaanite. It was new and it made sense. It would protect them from sickness and disease. It would keep them in mind of the God they were following. And it would give them a whole new take on what it meant to be the people of God in a pagan culture. The fear of Yahweh, however, would be needed to ensure that this new law was kept, to compel Israel to dutiful observance without intense fear and distance. Familiarity could breed contempt, and the new establishment could crumble. This is why the laws and the narrative accounts of the deaths of priests that intersperse them are given in such a fierce and aggressive way. It mattered to Israel that this was preserved. Here they were, a fledgling nation without political or contemporary allegiance, in a world of many alternatives, with the real and genuine chance of creating something new and different from the status quo. If they fluffed the chance, it would not come round again. We find it really hard to understand the mindset of a community that puts the need and survival of that community way above the rights of the individual. But at times of identity formation crisis, this is what happens. I guess in today's world, it perhaps gives us some insight into the mindset of Islamist fundamentalism. It's not just the promise of umpteen virgins in the afterlife that propels suicide bombers to kill and maim in the name of their religion. It is also the real and genuine belief that what their religion holds is somehow better than the tribal wars of their heartlands or the hedonistic blasphemies of the West. The individuals are willing to sacrifice everything to protect their community. Because in their mind, the success of that community is genuinely all that matters. You can compare that with Exodus 32, where Moses, after discovering the golden calf, orders the slaughter of, to quote, brother and friend and neighbour. And they kill 3,000 of their own people in a single day, and it's recorded as a great victory because they preserved the community from the threat from within. Now, to our modern minds, this desire to be clean and to be free from unclean outsiders, whatever the cost, seems barbaric and wrong. And it is. We only need to look at the carnage wreaked by today's terrorists to see that. I guess the jury will remain out on whether there was any other way for the Israelites to proceed in their context. But what should inspire us, in spite of all this, is the Israelites' desire to pursue a new and better way in the world they found themselves in. If we could find that for our 21st century world, that would be something worth protecting. Here's some questions for reflection. What is it about Christian faith that inspires you to be better than you would otherwise? Maybe make a list of a few things and try summing it up in a single sentence. And then ask the question, how are you protecting this difference in your own life? You can find more on Community of Readers at our website, www.communityofreaders.com. Until next time and the next part on Leviticus, have a great week. Cheers.